I kind of think I wish we would all just do that, but whatever.
Hello.
Hi, Haley.
It is really nice. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning, Mackenzie. We're just kind of chatting. I told her everybody rolls in fashionably late on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
We're all good. Everything with my backpack. I think it's going to be.
Your team, you guys.
Yeah, we're going to have a pretty small group because Kelly's got a group down in Vegas. They're down there working, so I think, let's see, Aya's on, YouTube, Morgan, I think
But she usually rolls in a little bit.
Yeah,
like she drops off her kids at school.
Mm-hmm. She's almost here.
Yeah, so we have one more. If you don't mind just waiting a few minutes, that's okay.
I don't mind at all. I'd love to know more about you guys. Can you tell me a little to introduce yourself and tell me about you?
Yeah, I'll just start because I'm the odd man in the room. So I'm Kelly's new sales manager. My name is Justin Ports.
Hi there.
I am not new to sales, not new to management, but I'm new to real estate. So I'm learning a lot from the team here, which is awesome. It's a great group of people. And just sitting in on things like this and just learning as they learn things. So that's me.
Tell me about that. What did you do before?
Well, I'll give you the shorter version is I was in the military for almost 28 years. And when I retired from the military in this area, we decided to stay because it's a beautiful area to live and we have kids in school. We really like the schools. And so I've done, I worked for a fitness company and we sold franchises and I did franchise development. So I guess there was a tiny bit of real estate attached to that, but not to this scope. And did some sales stuff with the team there. And they were never really recovered out of COVID, so they were trying to transition their business a little bit, and they started to go away from selling franchises and more into selling equipment. And that's when I reached out to Kelly about, I might be looking for a new position, and she said, "Well, I've been thinking about needing a sales manager, so let's see how this goes." So I think I'm on like a probation right now, so maybe a couple months of this, and see if I'm worth the juice is worth the squeeze.
You are funny. I was just going to say, turn off the recording. We're fine.
Yeah, no, all good. So that's me anyways.
Well, thank you for your service to our country. Were you Navy?
I was, yeah, Navy. I did 15 years enlisted as a young man out of high school. I did about a half a semester in college trying to play football, and then realized that wasn't really going to be my future. And enlisted in the Navy and did almost 30 years. It was, it went by really fast. Everybody says that, but it was crazy. And so now I've got kids in high school. One's graduating this year. One's a freshman. And we're just kind of going through life.
Well, I'm really grateful for your service to our country. It isn't something everyone's courageous enough to do. And we're always just humbled by your service. So thank you so much.
Very nice of you. Thank you. Well, we've got a lot of military families on the team here. So as they introduce themselves, you'll learn that here.
I love that.
And I think we've got everybody that's going to be here. Mariah's at home because she wasn't feeling well and I didn't want her to bring her germs to work. So she's listening.
Does she want to zoom in?
She's on. I don't know. She might not be. Maybe she doesn't want to turn her camera on, but I think she's listening.
Okay. Well, since we're a small group this morning too, I'd love to know about each of you. And then instead of using the little thing, where you ask a question on the screen, let's just ask if you have a question, just kind of, I don't know, make a face at me or something funny. And I'll answer. We'll just kind of let it flow. There isn't a instructional thing to do. We'll just talk about things. It'll be fun, I think. Okay, so tell me, go around the table and tell me who you are, and let's see this, who you are, how long you've been in real estate, and a little bit about you.
You want to go first?
Yeah. Okay, I'm Bailey. I joined real estate in December of this past year, so freshly new. Katie, I don't think I've ever met you. Have you met everybody else on the team or no?
Yep.
No? Okay. I don't know what you do either, so you're next.
Okay, you got it.
I'm a military spouse. We moved up here almost 4 years ago. And I joined Kelly's team originally last year in April as marketing, and I transferred to being an agent last year as well.
I love that. Where did you move there from?
Texas.
Okay. Wow, that's a big change.
Yeah, totally.
And so did you guys PCS to Anacortes?
Yep. So we actually live in Oak Harbor, which is about 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
That's where the main base is at.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for your family service. I live near a military base here also for Air Force. And so we know a little bit about PCSing just from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next?
I'm Morgan.
Hi,
I
Morgan.
started real estate in July, and I'm also a military spouse. We PCS about 4 years ago as well. What else?
Do you have kids?
Oh yes, I have 2 kids.
How old are they?
5 and almost 3.
Oh boy. Well, the 5 years is fun and 3 and 4 are hard was my experience.
Oh yeah, 3 has not been my greatest, or 2 for that matter. But 5
Yeah.
is fine. She's like coming into her own personality, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And a girl, 2 girls?
A girl and a boy. One of each.
Okay. Morgan, did you have kids?
Oh, me?
Bailey.
I'm
Yeah.
Bailey.
Oh, Bailey, I mean, do you have children?
I have one son. He's 3.
Oh,
We're in the thick of it.
3, right? 3 is so hard.
Yeah, he's not easy.
You're so cute. No, 3's hard. Okay.
My name is Mackenzie, and I got my license in December of 2021, so just a little over a year. And I was a military spouse. My husband got out of 2020, I think, 2019, 2020. He was Army. And I'm originally from the Midwest. I'm from Indiana. I don't have any kids at this time. But yeah.
Cherish that moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me a little bit about you. And then Maria, would you like to share? I'd love to hear about you. Hi,
Yes,
Maria.
sorry, my voice is a little bit scary.
No,
But
no
my
worries.
My name is Maria. I'm new to real estate. I just got my license like a month ago, and I'm still learning a lot of stuff. But other than the real estate, I actually own a business. Before the real estate, I used to be sales regional director for a cell phone company for 6 years. Yeah, so I've been in sales for a long time. Yeah, and my husband retired here in Whitby. He used to be stationed in Lemoore, so I think he knows Justin Forts. I think they used to work together.
I don't even know. Yeah, you haven't told me that yet.
Yes, I think so. I cannot wait to see you to share you the stories. But
All right. Yeah, maybe we'll have to have a private conversation.
I was like, I mentioned your name loud, and Michael is like, Justin Ports? I was like, yeah.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny. All right.
Yeah, so yeah, and we moved here in Whidbey Island. We loved it here, and I think this is where we're gonna stay for the rest of our life. So
Awesome. I love that. Tell me again, what was the sale? What did you, you're an entrepreneur also, so, and a sales director for, I missed the company.
Wireless Advocate. So Wireless Advocate, they partner with military bases and Costco. So my job is on the military side. So I train people how to be good in sales. So I travel all over United States, West and East, to meet the new hire, to train them, to check the location. So it's a fun job.
I love that. I love that. That sounds like fun to me. I'd like to travel too.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, you guys, for introducing yourselves. I'm Katie Fear. I have been in real estate 26 years this year, and I remember being new, actually, believe it or not, even though I'm 52. I still remember being brand new. And I remember then, way back then, just so you guys know, there was no such thing as a team when I started. In fact, I'll give you something fun. I don't have it with me. If I would have known, I would have brought it. But way back then, when I started real estate, it makes me feel like, an artifact. We had a three, seriously, it's okay. I'm like, I have 4 children and 2 are still young, so I'm an artifact. We had 3-ring binders, and when you opened it up, there were sheets inside. How you put a piece of paper inside the like plastic thing.
Yeah.
We'd have MLS. It was an MLS listing on like a sheet of paper like this with a Polaroid picture and a little description of the property.
Oh my
And if
goodness.
you wanted to see it, you had to call the agent, which today, I don't know how it is in Anacortes, but here in Phoenix, I think some of our agents would rather die than pick up the phone and call another agent. But we had to call another agent and have a relationship, and they would typically meet us at the property, and it was much more hands-on, right? But we got an update to our MLS thing once a month. That's how it was way back when. And I remember way back when, right after the internet, made the MLS possible and all of that, I was doing floor time. Do you guys do floor time?
No.
Okay, so way back then, that was a thing too. And we'd take turns sitting at the front desk and talking to people that came in and answering the calls that came in from signs, right? Because the signs were not associated with each of us. It had one number on it, like they do for our teams, right? And I remember getting a call for a manufactured home, and Wendy Foster, that was her name. You could look her up. She's still doing business in Vancouver, Washington. I'm pretty sure she's almost 100. But I remember she walked in, and I came from a sales background too. I sold national, again, archaic for everyone. I sold national yellow page advertising. So to all the big companies, I sold advertising in the yellow pages. And by the way, that was my very first advertising and my very first big mistake. I put a full page ad. I knew how it worked. I sold it for myself in the yellow pages. And I instantly had a lifelong client. They're still my client today after all these years. And they were multi-million-dollar cash buyer clients from the yellow pages at the time.
Wow.
But I'll never forget. So here was the mistake. I didn't put my brokerage name in there. Whoops. And here's what can't be fixed. Yellow pages are right in print. So it was a whole year. So I felt lucky I got to continue in real estate after that huge phone call. Big deal. But Wendy Foster came in the office. I'll never forget. It's why I like to teach, because she was my mentor. She came in the office and I said, I just got a call for a manufactured home, Wendy, and I don't know anything about manufactured homes. So why don't you just take it? And she said, nope. And she sat down beside me. She scooted her little chair over and she's like, here's how you do it. And here's what you need to do. And she walked me through each step. And then I said, now that you've shown me, I know for next time, but you did all the work, so you go do it. And she said, nope, I would love to see you succeed. Please go. And I went and I got that listing. And because of what Wendy had taught me and her confidence in me, I think I felt a lot of pressure. I better get that listing, And then she ended up selling that listing for me a few weeks later. But I've never forgotten her kindness and the way that she didn't see, how could she see me as a threat? I didn't even know how to navigate that, but she helped me with that. She helped me figure out how to do real estate, and she didn't get anything for it. She just wanted to see me succeed. She was 22 years in the business, and I remember thinking, I had not had a job. I was still young, and I thought, I can't imagine having a job that long that I liked. And here I am all these years later. As a result, I think of someone else's kindness. So I hope that's what you find today. I hope what you take away is that I really care about your success. And new means opportunity. New doesn't mean I don't know anything. And sometimes new means better than a seasoned agent for a number of reasons. Most importantly, laziness. So I'm really excited. Older agents, me included, we sometimes get a little bit lazy. And so I'm excited for you guys because this is the best career I could have imagined for myself, and an opportunity to create my life by design. And you have that same opportunity. So I'm super excited for you. I do have children. I have 4. I have twin boys who are 31 next month. One served in the Navy also as a cryptologist. His whole career was in Hawaii. And he is no longer in the service. He was he got out as soon as he was able, and has a lot of anxiety actually. And I've heard that, I don't know, he doesn't talk about it. He won't talk to us about it. But what I've been told is that he probably sat in a submarine, like translating Korean, and with a Marine right behind him in case he made a mistake. So I think that would create a lot of anxiety. It has in him. But I have 2 30-year-old boys, almost 31. And then I have 2 children we adopted, 10 and 11, a daughter and a son. And I've had them both since birth. So I was a foster mom to 51 children before my son, Noah. And all those families reunited. And many of them are still together because they just needed mentorship. So same thing. I think there's a thread through my life of just, I love to mentor and teach, and coach is my favorite thing. So today, what that means though, is less talking from me. So as we go through this today, I'm going to give you my number in case you ever have a question. Kelly is a good friend of mine. So if you ever have questions and you want to reach out to, I'd be happy to answer your questions. My number, I'll give it to you now in case you want it. It's 480-500-6412. And my name really is Katie Fear, like Fear Factor. If you're old enough to know that show, it was the grossest show ever, probably. But no one ever spells my name right. Ever. Ever, because they don't want to spell fear, right? So tell me this, when you guys get, I have a question for you first. When you get leads, are you guys getting that? Do your leads come in on your phone? Does it does your website call you and then you answer it? Or how does that work?
So our website goes into our CRM follow-up boss, and we'll get like a text, email notification. Zillow's the only, well, that one and Sign calls are the only one that we get calls from directly to our phones. And I don't know if Sign calls go to everyone, but I know Zillow calls do. Yeah, they're like first come, first serve on Zillow, and then Sign calls are rotating.
Okay, and tell me, what is your team's procedure when those calls come in? Is there an expectation for when the calls come in, or a text comes in, or an email comes in? What's the expectation around that for you guys?
To respond to it within like the first 5 minutes of getting it.
Perfect. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will say, in my experience, that 5 minutes of time is more critical than I have a team too, most of my agents give credit for. They'll say, I was busy doing something else or whatever. And so now I have certain times they can, right? Like they say, I'm signing up for those calls or messages from this hour to this hour. And during those hours, they are only doing real estate, because otherwise they're in the grocery store. We've all done it, pushing the grocery cart, and we're like, oh, someone called. Okay. And we're half listening, right? And the biggest part of conversion on these leads, any of those leads, is the quickest to respond, But more importantly, even than that, and that is critical, is not only how quickly we respond, but how well we listen. And if we're in the grocery store pushing the cart, we're half listening. We're worried about whoever walked by us, picking up the fruit that we were just trying to get, or whatever it is, right? And then also, if you don't have earbuds in, our business, I've always felt this way, but our business is really a private business, right? People are talking about their biggest purchase ever, and they're often giving you financial information, which would be building trust with you. But if they can hear a grocery store behind you, they kind of wonder how professional we are. So I would say in taking those leads for my team, what's been really successful is making sure that if you're going to accept that call or reach right back out, that you find a quiet place where you can listen. The first step of building rapport, in my experience, is listening. And I think Maria said it best. She went all over, right? She traveled and taught about sales around the country. And this is true throughout sales, but people do business with people they trust. We always hear know, like, and trust, but more important than know and like are trust. And I can say that because I can't tell you, I can't even count on my hands and toes how many times I have had someone say, my family is a real estate professional also, and they instead chose to work with me. And it wasn't because their family was terrible. It was because I built trust with them. And their family, they knew their family was a realtor, and they knew them, right? The know was there and the like was there most of the time. They like their family, but the trust doesn't always, right? It's something we assume, but trust is the most important part. And so when you take that call or call someone back, I would say as quickly as possible. I like to do it literally in the first 3 minutes. And actually I have, am I able to share my screen, Justin?
Yeah, it should come up fine. We'll let you know if we see it.
Okay. Yep. It does say that here. Oh, wait. What? Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay. I'm like, wait, hold on. All right. Let me find it here.
I like that you just assumed that I'm the tech guy in the room, though. I appreciate that.
That was my assumptive close. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm probably the least techie out of these. These three are probably more techie than me, but
That's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it'll work. I'm not techie either. So we'll have to see how we go here. Can you guys see, does my screen say text message right here in the middle?
Not yet.
Or no?
yeah,
No,
now
it does.
It did get a little laggy, Katie. Like right now you're frozen. So once you,
Okay, so I'm gonna have you, oh, I am? Am
you're
I
a little
okay?
laggy now, yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me or no?
We can hear you. Yeah, it's a little jumbly, but I think
Okay,
we'll see if it gets,
let's try this. If it doesn't work, we'll stop it.
okay.
I'm gonna give you a call that I did on a realtor.com.
We don't hear anything.
Okay, could you hear that?
No.
Did you hear any of that?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Your faces were blank on my side too. So what I was going to share, but what I'll do is I'll send the recordings over to Justin, and then or to each of you, if you guys want to give me your number, I'll send them so you can listen to those calls. They're calls recorded from my website for realtor.com. That's where we get a lot of our leads. And they immediately, same thing, they go to our website and then they call back out to us, and Shark Tank, whoever gets it first gets it. I'm fast. And so what that client said, and what you'll hear in all of them, is they'll say, wow, And by the way, this is how, if it's Zillow, right, or whatever it is, I know they all have their own protocol. This is how we say it. If it's realtor.com, for example, we would say, hi, this is Katie calling on behalf of realtor.com. They don't care who I work with. They just know the last place they were was realtor.com. So that immediately builds trust. If I were to say, hi, it's Katie from Kelly Lang's team. I'm reaching out on behalf of realtor.com on a house you saw, right? That's still good, but they heard this other thing in there and they're trying to figure out where that came from. What I do say is on behalf of realtor.com, and then that helps them build that trust almost immediately because they knew exactly where they came from. And you're not ever lying, right? It's on behalf of whatever that site is. And then the goal for each call is to hit it off, right? What you really want for all of these calls, yes, you want to answer their questions, but more importantly, what the goal of each call is to form a relationship strong enough in that small 13-minute window, if we're lucky, right? That they would use no one but us. And I can tell you that it's absolutely possible. And one of the things that I think is most important is that you do this law of reciprocity, right? Where you say you give them something and they're going to give you something. So when you call or when they call and you say, hi, this is Katie on behalf of realtor.com. I saw, Mr. Smith, that you were looking at a property and I wanted to make sure I got you the answers to your question. Even if I don't have that property pulled up yet, how could I? I had 2 minutes, right? I just say on the property you called on. And they say, oh yeah, you know what? I have friends that live in that neighborhood. And while they're talking, I'm pulling it up, right, on another source of media. So either my computer or my phone, wherever I'm on the phone, so I can talk through the computer too. And then I'll say, oh yeah, 123 Banana Street in Buckeye. Are you familiar with that neighborhood? Yeah, I have friends that live across the street. Who are your friends? It's such a small community here. I'd be curious to know. Oh, well, Bob and Julie Bonner. Oh my gosh, I know Bob and Julie very well. They're really good friends of our dinner crew. Did you know in our community, we do this really neat thing where everybody gets together and has dinner at somebody else's house, or we do a progressive. Have they ever told me that? No. Okay, well, what I just do, I built their interest in the community more, not just that property, and trust with them because I know someone they know. And I told them a little bit more about how close our community is, right? And people will always say, I live here in Arizona, we have these things called planned communities, which are different. I'm from Washington State originally. Why we're here in the middle of everything dead, don't even get me started, but we are. I'm like, here I am making the best of it. Seriously. But I think the most important thing is that here we do these, we have these communities. I'm sure you guys have them too. They're just different, right? But we've been told that our planned community here by the base, Verado is the community, that we are very much like a military base. I don't know, because I've not ever lived on one. But whatever, we have lots of retired military in our community, lots of active military in our community, and we get a lot of the foreign military here too. And so what they always say they love the most about our community is that you can ask for a cup of sugar and 5,000 people say, I'll give you sugar, right? Like everyone works together as a community. It's very community centric. And there's all kinds of community activities, and we take care of each other in this community. And when people say, oh yeah, I know all about Verado, I always say, really? Tell me what you know. Tell me. And they'll say, well, I know there's some parks and stuff. And I say, did you know there's 80 parks, one every other block, so that you could visit one a week and never visit the same park twice in a year? You still get to go into the next year. And 30 plus miles of paths and trails, 4 community pools that are heated or cooled according to how deep they are, There's splash pads and dog parks and community activities and a few pickleball courts and that kind of thing. Did you know that? Oh, and a fitness center. That's the largest privately owned fitness center in North America. And they go, I knew nothing about Verrado. Right? Like, no. So we can't assume they know when they say I know, right? Especially at like Anacortes, probably don't know. They think they do, but they probably don't know some special thing, you know. So the law of reciprocity in this case for me, for you guys, when I'm going to give you a secret because you do it with Zillow too. I know I used to do Zillow and then I fired them because they're different here and I didn't want to do what they wanted me to do. It made me grumpy. I got into business to do business the way I wanted, not the way Zillow wanted me to, and they made me mad here. They do things very different in Arizona than anywhere else, so you should know that's not the same. But what I say when I talk to them, and you guys know this, same with Zillow, they often are getting more, any of those online lead sources, they're getting more than one person calling them, right? When they search on Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia or Redfin, and they push a button, all of those websites sell their information to realtors who will pay to be connected with them. And so, well, if you're the fastest, they're on the phone with you, right? I'll say, this is Katie calling on behalf of Realtor.com about this property. Tell me a little bit about what your question was. And they'll tell me, and I'll say, they'll say, you were just so fast. And I go, you know what? Here's something I'm going to tell you that most people won't. Realtor.com sells your information. So when you're on there searching, you'll find more properties on their website than you will mine because they have different rules about what they can and can't do. My real estate website is directly connected to the multiple listing service. It's as accurate in the minute as you can get. But Realtor.com is a third-party site, and they want you to see even homes that are under contract because that's how they make money. You push the button because you didn't find it anywhere else, asking for information. And now all the agents, and I always do this even though I'm on the phone, right? All the agents, I talk with my hands, all the agents that are out there paying Realtor.com are paying to get connected to you. And if it hasn't happened yet, Bill, in a minute, your phone's going to blow up while we're talking. And they go, oh my gosh, how do you know it's already doing it? Yeah. Yep. So that's because you push that button. But thank goodness you and I were connected because I got you. Would you like me to give you the secret to making your phone stop ring from all those other annoying people? And they say, yes, right? All right. Who wouldn't say yes? And then you say, here's what you're going to do, Bill. I'm just while we're on the phone right here, just pause a moment. And to everyone who's reaching in, just feel free to reach back out to them and say, I'm already working with a realtor. Okay, Bill? Yeah, got it. And then they're talking to you and he goes, 1 minute. And they're typing. You can hear them tapping their phone. And then I say, okay, Bill, so now that we're going to be working together, let's talk back more about that property that you had a question about. What was it that you liked the most about the property? Do you guys see what I did? I assumed that he's going to work with me. And he's now said yes by responding to me that he replied to everyone else. I'm working with a realtor. I'm his realtor. He's not working with anyone else. It's an assumed close. And I already built trust because I'm on behalf of Realtor.com. And I gave him the reciprocity is that I gave him the information no one else is going to tell him. Because most agents are embarrassed to say, I paid for leads. But you know what? We shouldn't be embarrassed. Apple pays for leads. They all pay for, that's business. That's how business is done. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm trying to feed my family. You're trying to feed your family. But there's one thing you can count on from me, and that's honesty. And that honesty builds trust. That integrity builds trust. They will, 97% of the time, they will work with you. The other 3% of the time, 1.5% of the time, you're not going to like them and you're going to fire them, or they're going to fire you. And it's okay. I would say that too. if they are shady or not, you know, there's something icky feeling about them, or maybe it's just your gut feeling says this isn't safe, pass. No commission is worth our safety, right? So I always say to my team, please feel free, if it's not a good fit for you, see if someone else would like to cover it. And if no one else can cover it, I'll take it myself and I'll decide, right, what we do with it. Maybe we fire them. They can go on down the road to somebody else. But the goal of every call within the first 5 minutes, they're not going to give us very much time, you guys. Within the first 5 minutes of that call is to have them feeling like they just made a friend in you. They're going to work with you. They trust you and you just hit it off. Maybe you've made friends already, right? It's very easy to do if you create the trust up front. And that comes from listening and also letting them know, giving them a secret about real estate. It might be something else, right? It might be that one of those websites isn't completely accurate, but yours is, right? I'm the professional and I got you. Making sure that we never say bad things about other realtors or websites, but they do work differently, right? That is what they do. They sell the information. So I would say to always bring energy, right? Have you ever called someone and had them go like to make a reservation for dinner and they go, hi, it's the grill. And then you're like, I don't even want to eat there. Why would I want to eat there? Oh my gosh. Right? Or am I ever going to get my food? But on the flip side, if they go, thank you for calling the grill. We're happy to serve you today. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, we're coming at 4. It's that feeling like you want to connect. So bring energy to that. And then in that call, so you're building trust. And then you also want to do a couple of things. Have you guys ever, and I want one of you guys to answer, so you can volunteer, I won't call on you. Have you ever had one of those calls where you talk to them and they're really like grumpy because they just want the information, they want you to shut up? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did it go? Can one of you guys give me an example of how it has gone? Like, let's say I called you and I'm like, I just want the information on the house. I don't care. I'm so sorry. I'm in a hurry. I just want to know, is the house still available? Right? What do you do? How do you move through that? Have you successfully moved through it? Or is that a call that we typically just let go?
To be honest, a call that typically let go.
Okay,
like as far as like I give them the information that they want and then
I reach back out.
then I reach back out. They usually never respond or something. So it's very like cut and dry.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a tip that I think might help. So when they're cut and dry with you, then you're going to mirror that, right? So if you're bubbly and outgoing and they're grumpy, right? It happens to all of us. Then you're not going to be grumpy, but you're going to be more straightforward with them, right? Because they're not the personality that thinks our bubbly is funny. They're irritated, right? And so I would love for you to role play that with me. Okay, you be the grumpy, okay? And then and I'm going to be the agent, okay?
Okay, sure. If I can be grumpy,
You can do it.
I'll try to be mean.
You can do it.
Okay. Who's the meanest? Who's the meanest?
I don't think any of us.
They're all
I wouldn't think so. Okay, well, you're gonna have to.
The mean ones are all in Vegas.
Adam's the best
Okay.
one at giving.
I see. Okay, Mackenzie, fake it really good with me. So you're calling on 123 Banana Street, and I'm calling you. Hi, Mackenzie. This is Katie on behalf of Realtor.com. I'm reaching out regarding the property you had a question about, 123 Banana Street.
Yeah, I just want to know, is the house still active?
Well, you know what? That is such a good question. In this market, you just never know. Our market has changed quite a bit. Have you been watching the market?
Yeah, no, I have. I just want to know if the house is active.
Oh, sure. I'm looking right now for you. It might take a second. You've been watching the market. How long have you been looking?
Just on and off for a little bit. But yeah, I just want to know so I can call my other realtor to see if we can go look at it.
Oh, you're working with a realtor.
Yeah, she's one of my good friends,
Oh, that's fantastic. What's her name, Mackenzie?
Emily
Oh, Emily. What's Emily's last name?
Parson. That's my sister.
Emily Parson. Oh, you know what? I have met her before. What a great lady. Well, I'm glad that you're in good hands. Is there any reason that you didn't reach out to Emily this morning to ask her about that property?
Yeah, she's at a doctor's appointment.
Oh gosh, we all have them. I totally get it. I'm looking, it looks like that property is available. And I know you said you're working with Emily. Did you want me to reach out to Emily and let her know that I spoke with you this morning?
No, that's okay.
Okay, well, I'm here if you ever need anything at all. If Emily's busy at a dentist appointment or something, feel free to reach out and I'll let her know that you called me too.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye. So here's something that just happened though, right? I built a little bit of trust with you because I told you that I knew her and that you had made a good choice, but that I'm here in case something ever happens, right? And you were short with me and I didn't get into it with you, but chances are that at some point you'll probably reach back out. It happens often because you mirror what they do, right? So if they're grumpy, I've had it happen. I had a guy call and he was like, listen, I already called another realtor and they said they needed all my financial information or they weren't going to show me the property. I had to be qualified. And I know with Zillow, that's what they want for you guys too, right? Like they want you to get all the stuff. And I was like, you know what? Is all you want to do is see the property at 123 Banana Street? And he goes, yeah. And I don't want to tell you anything about my qualifications. Like, that's exactly what he said. And I said, okay, there could be 1,000 reasons for that, right? So I said, okay, that sounds good. I'm going to need to call the seller and find out. I never say seller's agent because then I've lost some trust with them that I'm not connected, right? I'm going to call the seller and I'm going to let them know that we'd like to see the property. Was 1 o'clock the time you wanted to see it? Yeah, 1 o'clock. Okay, great. One thing I will need is just for you to send me over a text screenshot of the front and back of your driver license. We need that for safety, especially if we're not collecting any other information up front. My office likes to have it on file. Is that something you can do? And he said, it's an actual client. He said, I'm sure I could. And I said, great. I'll call the seller. You screenshot that to me. We'll reconvene in just a few minutes. I called the other agent. The other agent said, yep, I could show it. By the time I called him back, he said he had screenshotted it to me. And he said, okay, so we'll meet you there at 1. And I said, great. Not more than 30 seconds later, after we hung up, I got no more information. I'm just meeting him. I have his license. I'll build rapport in person, right? He called back and said, we changed our mind. We're driving out of town today. Not going to see the property. We're just going to skip it. We're going to drive on home. And I thought that was weird, but okay. So I called the other agent and I said, hey, Anna, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to have to cancel because they really wanted to see it. And then I don't know what happened. They're from Colorado, but they're heading back home. And she said, they're not heading back home because they called me directly to see if I would show it to them because I'm the listing agent. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Are you sure? And she goes, well, Colorado. And she goes, but I don't want to do a dual agent. So you decide, what do you want to do? And I said, I'll call him back. So I called him back. A lot of agents would let that go, right? Like, oh, whatever. I called him back and I said, hey, Lyle, this is Katie Fear. You had an appointment with me and I got your message that you wanted to cancel. Was there any reason in particular besides you were heading home? Was 1 o'clock not soon enough? No. My wife had talked to the other agent and we're going to see it at 1:30 with her, I guess, but I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I go, well, no hurt feelings at all. But let me tell you how it works here in Arizona. Whether you work with the listing agent or myself on that home, there's no discount in commission to you when you work with the listing agent. In fact, you actually have no representation at all. You waive it because the listing agent becomes a mediator and works between you, the buyer, and the seller, and neither one has representation. So what that means is that the duty to disclose to you everything and provide the best for your interest is not there. Is that what you were looking for? No. And I said, okay. And he goes, how much do we owe you? And I go, well, in Arizona, I'm definitely not free. Nothing's free. But there's a cooperating fee paid from the selling brokerage to the listing broker. It's cooperative. So you don't have to worry about it. It is being paid though by the seller. And he goes, oh yeah, we'd rather see it with you. We'll see you at 1. I sold them another house, not that one, but it does matter when we're, the reason I think it worked, right, is again, I gave him something that I gave him a little secret. This is how it works. Because in other states, and you guys know, especially military, if you've been in different places, it's different everywhere. Real estate is different. So I think that we can never assume that someone knows how it works. And bringing them some kind of extra information where they feel like they're on the inside and you brought it to them builds instant trust and rapport. Like I get, like we do this with our little kids, right? First this, then that. Do you guys do that? Like first pick up your toy, then you can watch Daniel Tiger, right? Whatever. Like first this, then that. It's the same with our clients. And once you ask the question, I think it's really important. Once you say, what was it I can answer for you about that property? Or what was it about that property you liked? They're going to tell you. What was it about the property that you called about that you were interested in? Well, I wanted to know if it was still available. What was the first thing that caught your eye? Well, I love the pool. I've been looking for a pool house for a year, or a waterfront house for over a year. You've been looking for a year. Yeah, we were working. They're going to spill it all as long as we don't interrupt.
Yeah,
but our tendency
is ask a question and shut up.
Yep, our tendency, right, is to try and fill in the quiet. But the best advice as salespeople is to let them talk and ask questions that are engaging them to talk more. Right? I think it starts in making it all about them. As real estate agents, we know we're just trying to provide a living for our family, right? Which can very easily, especially if things get tight, quickly become about us. Every call, right? Because we know it's in our bank account. We know that we just have so much gas to get to the next showing, or to do that special thing you're trying to do for yourself to fill your bucket back up. And maybe it all depends on that sale. And it's really important that we have the mindset first thing in the morning. Mindset is the very first step, in my opinion, to even before the phone call, right? We've talked about the phone call and what that looks like. But I think most important is how we set our mind in the morning. Can you guys tell me, let's just go around, and can you guys tell me what you do in the morning to start your morning for success?
I wake up at like 6:15-ish. I make a cup of warm lemon water and I read like about 10 to 20 pages of a book usually.
Nice.
And then after, that's usually how that's like, and then like I have a cup of coffee and then I like check my email and stuff like that. But my me time is reading and in the morning for like 20 minutes.
Love that. I love that. And what about you, Morgan?
I'm up at 5:45. My toddler wakes up at daylight, so I'm trying to get a cup of coffee and some quiet before he wakes up. And then I listen to podcasts and get ready and pack lunch, kids, and school drop off, and then come to meetings.
Okay, awesome. And how about you, Bailey?
Mine is like making coffee and then getting ready and quiet. So I just shut the door and I get fully ready by myself. Quietness.
I love that. Maria, are you still on?
Yes, ma'am. So
What do
I
you
wake
do
up,
in the morning?
I get up at 6 o'clock. That's my everyday. I put the dog outside, make coffee. I play with them for 30 minutes. Every morning, I reach out to any friends for 10 minutes. I talk to them, to one of friends or family in the morning, then before I head to work.
Let me ask you a question because I think that's really interesting about the 10 minutes to friends or family. When you're doing that, what is the purpose that are you reaching? Tell me about that.
Yes. So I'm glad that you asked, because every day in my life, I always tell myself to, like, if I can give like a smile or advice to people, at least 10 every day. And I start in the morning with family or friends, just to say hi, hello, how are you doing today? You can hear, sometimes you'll hear, that they're having a hard time, or they're having they're stressed or whatever, or they're happy. All you can do is just hear, hear what they say, like just give them an advice, or laugh with them in the morning, or tell them like, hey, you got this, something like that. So yeah, it's
I love
just a
that.
motivational conversation. And sometimes I don't even need to call them. They call me, so they know. Yeah.
I love that you're starting your day with the mindset that you're giving.
Hmm. Yeah.
Did you guys
Yeah, and
get
it
that
helps
from
me
that?
too.
I love that. Maria, thank you. I love that. And that's what I want. I would love for you guys to think about if it would be beneficial or not for you to add something to your morning. And I'll tell you a little bit about what my morning looks like, and then I'll tell you what I think might be helpful, and you guys can decide if you think it's helpful for you or not. But I know that it really does change the way a day starts for me. The same, I begin with my mindset in the morning. And by the way, I'm pretty sure my kids are annoyed as heck because I make them do the same. So I write. I have a little glass writing pens. Do you know what I'm talking about? They sell them at the craft store or Fry's even. I think you can write on glass with this pen, and I write on the mirror in the bathroom. Both for my children, I write different ones, right? And now they're old enough, they write their own. I write them on mine. And I write the things that I need to remember as I go through my day. When I wake up in the morning, I always say before my feet hit the floor. I'm a person of faith. And so for me, I say before my feet hit the floor, Lord, I want to say thank you for me living today, that I woke up breathing. What an honor that I get to be alive, that you chose me to work for one more day. And today I'd like to be your hands and feet, whatever that looks like. There's no expectation in that, just that God would use me today somehow through my willingness to be able to be a vessel. I will say this, I still have my scheduled time blocked. I time block everything. All my calls, everything's time blocked. But if God says something else, I pivot. My word is pivot. I pivot because I know who provides for me. And oftentimes it's those moments where we're drawn away from something we thought was productive to do something that feels menial, maybe, or even like a distraction. And it's in those times that relationships are formed that I didn't expect. And God really shows up. And through my willingness to step away from my own schedule, if I have to, because he's calling me to do something, that he really provides way more blessing than I would ever imagine for myself. So every morning I wake up with, I'm worthy. God chose me today to wake up. I'm worthy. I'm worthy of living in this life. I'm here to support, to give back. So whatever you have for me and whatever I give, I'm going to give without an expectation back. Right? I'm going to give it to you because I know who provides for me. And when I start each morning with things on my mirror that remind me who I am and what my purpose is, the whole day flows. The whole day flows, and every single thing that could be, we have hard things in the day seem a little less hard because I know exactly whose I am and exactly what I'm doing. And when we come to our calls that way, in the rush of life, toddler tugging on our pants, phone ringing, right? We've all been there. All this happening, dog running around our legs, or someone needing our attention. When we already know whose we are and what we're set apart for today, and we had a plan for success, when we take those calls, all that energy, when we talked about energy earlier, all that energy comes through. They can feel our authenticity, which also builds trust. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yep.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Do you guys have any questions for me about how to increase your building rapport or creating stronger relationships? No?
I don't have any.
Well, here's my hope for you guys. I'm going to leave you with a hope for today. First of all, thank you. I'm absolutely grateful I had the opportunity to meet each of you guys. And second of all, my hope for you is that as you go out into the world doing real estate, doing life the way that you do, and only you can do it that way, by the way, each one of you, Justin, you included, all of you guys have something very special to give back to this world. So as you go out and do that, my hope for you is that you find great success in all the things you do, that you always remember whose you are, and that when you give back to the world, that you receive abundantly back.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're
That was
welcome. Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you for your time this morning. You have my number. So if you have any questions or you want to role play, I'm happy to do that with you. I'm always just a text or a phone call away.
Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy is it cloudy?
Yeah, we got snow last night.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Maybe not even an inch, but it's still, we still got snow.
Okay, somebody text me a picture of snow.
Okay, we will.
I'll text you a picture of sunshine. You
I
text me a picture of
can
snow.
see it coming through your windows.
Right, I'll send you a picture back. You send me one of snow. All right. Blessings to you. Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank you.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.